She stood trembling outside the tall iron gates, clutching a worn leather bag that held her entire life. 2 faded dresses, a photograph, and a letter. The rain soaked her uniform, plastering her hair to her face. Still she waited, eyes fixed on the massive mansion before her. Somewhere behind those marble walls, a dying billionaire had made a wish only she could fulfill. It all began 3 weeks ago when Amara Daniels, a 29-year-old maid from New Orleans, lost her job at a downtown hotel. Life had always been hard, but that day it broke her. She'd worked tirelessly to send money to her younger brother Malik, who dreamed of college. When the hotel shut down, her world crumbled. Bills piled up, rent overdue, hope fading. Then came the letter. A handwritten envelope slipped under her door, bearing the gold-embossed seal of the Whitmore family, the wealthiest in Louisiana. Inside was an offer. Come to Whitmore Estate. Urgent assistance needed. Generous compensation guaranteed. No name, no explanation, just a signature. Elias Whitmore. Amara had heard of him. The reclusive billionaire rumored to be dying. Some said he was cruel, others said he'd lost his soul chasing fortune. But when you're hungry and desperate, you don't ask questions. You go. The mansion was silent when she entered. The staff moved like ghosts, whispering, their eyes downcast. A nurse led her upstairs where she first saw him, Elias Whitmore, thin and pale, his eyes the color of steel. Tubes ran from his arms, a heart monitor beeping faintly beside his bed. So, he rasped, his voice weak but commanding, "You're the maid." "Yes, sir," Amara whispered, unsure what to do with her trembling hands. He looked at her for a long time. Then, with a faint, almost broken smile, he said, "Good. You've come to help me die, right?" The words hit her like a thunderclap. He explained, between shallow breaths, that he had no family left. His wife gone, his son estranged. All his money, all his empire meant nothing now. But he had one last wish: to find forgiveness. Not from the world, from himself. He wanted Amara to help him do it, to find someone he had wronged long ago, before his time ran out. Amara wanted to refuse. She wasn't a nurse, not a therapist, just a maid. But when she looked at him, she saw not a billionaire, but a man drowning in regret. And maybe, she thought, helping him might help her too. So she said yes. The next morning, he handed her a faded photograph of a young woman, brown skin, bright smile, holding a baby. Her name was Clara, he said, his voice trembling. "She worked here once, long before the world called me sir. I loved her and I betrayed her. She died poor, alone. That baby, her son, would be my age now. Find him. Tell him I'm sorry." Amara's heart ached as she looked at the photo. Clara looked like her. Not just in color, but in strength. And so began her journey. Through dusty archives, old newspapers, and city records. She walked miles across forgotten neighborhoods, asking questions that drew suspicious stares. Finally, she found him, Samuel, a middle-aged mechanic with weary eyes and the same smile as the woman in the photograph. When Amara told him who she was and why she'd come, he froze. Then his face hardened. "He wants forgiveness?" Samuel spat. "After what he did to my mother, he left her with nothing. She cleaned his floors, carried his child, and died with a mop in her hand." Amara felt his pain like her own. "He's dying," she said quietly. "And maybe forgiving him won't change his past, but it might free yours." Samuel turned away. People like him never change. Amara returned to the mansion, heart heavy. She found Elias weaker but still waiting. She told him the truth, that Samuel wouldn't come. He closed his eyes, tears slipping down his cheeks. "I deserve that," he whispered. "But thank you for trying. You've done more for me than anyone else ever has." That night, Amara sat by his bed as rain drummed against the window. He asked her to read from the Bible, the story of the prodigal son. His breathing grew shallow. When the dawn came, he whispered one last request. "Promise me something, Amara. Take care of him, my son. Tell him he was always loved, even if I never said it." And then, with a faint smile, he was gone. Amara wept silently. For him, for Clara, for every soul crushed beneath the weight of pride and poverty. She didn't know what to do with his last words until days later, when a lawyer called her into the study. Elias Whitmore had left behind a new will, one written by his own trembling hand. He'd left his entire estate, everything, to Samuel Whitmore, and the note that accompanied it was addressed to her, to the maid who saw the man behind the money. "Thank you. You fulfilled my last wish." Amara carried the news to Samuel herself. When she handed him the letter, he read it in silence, tears tracing down his face. "I don't know if I can forgive him," he said softly. You don't have to, Amara replied. Just live better than he did. Weeks passed. Samuel reopened the old Whitmore Foundation in his mother's name, helping single mothers find homes and education. Amara stayed to manage the charity, no longer a maid, but a director, a voice, a survivor. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Samuel looked at her and said, "Funny, isn't it? How a billionaire's last wish changed people like us more than all his money ever did." Amara smiled, eyes glistening. "No," she said quietly. "It wasn't his wish, it was his redemption, and ours." And somewhere in that great silence beyond life and regret, Elias Whitmore finally rested in peace, because one black maid found the courage to forgive and to fulfill what money never could, the wish for grace.